Welcome to episode 8 of A Message From. We're your hosts. I'm Allison.
And I'm Edward.
Hello. That's it. And we always start this the same way.
I know. I noticed in the last episode, I was like, we have got to stop asking each other how we are because all we say is good. Okay.
I think it's because we've already been talking to each other all day anyway. So we already know how we're doing.
Yeah. We are in constant awareness of how each other is currently faring.
Constant contact. Fingers on the pulses of each other.
Yes. Fingers on the pulses. Pulses? Is that the plural of pulse?
Yeah, what else would it be?
Pulse. With no S?
Pulse and pulse, the same thing.
Yeah, it's possible, isn't it?
This is like a moose situation.
Yeah, like a moose. Swan. No, swans.
Yeah. Is it swans or is it swan?
Swans. Yeah, I'm thinking goose and geese.
Oh.
I think.
Geese. It's definitely not Swiss.
No, definitely not Swiss. Definitely not that. No. I don't teach.
Pulsi? It's pulses. What else would it be?
Well, pulses are also a way to say beans.
I know that.
So do my first graders.
Your first graders are so intelligent. I'm pretty sure I didn't know that until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why we have to teach the word pulses for beans. And that's stupid. But I don't really work with plurals that are difficult. So that's my excuse for not knowing if it was swan or swans. What's your excuse?
I went through the American school system.
Yeah, that's good enough. I'll take it.
Thanks.
The listeners will take it.
Yes.
So it's been like 2 or 3 episodes since we had our epic fight live on the pod.
About who's always right?
Yeah. And I forgot that we
and
never
guess
talked
who was right? Me.
No.
I won the poll.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. I won the poll. No one won the poll. It was tied, wasn't it?
Well, technically, if you subtract
the corruption.
I don't call it corruption. I mean, we never set rules. We never said that our own account couldn't vote.
Yeah.
Instagram shouldn't allow self-voting, if that's the case.
Well,
in a presidential election, who do you vote for? You vote for yourself if you're running. You can't vote for your competitor.
The office of the president does not vote for the president. The idea of the office of the president doesn't vote for the president.
So we tied.
I think we tied. I'm
on
trying
a
to pull
technicality.
I don't know how to work Instagram anymore. I'm vamp.
I mean, I use polls so frequently on Instagram, but I maintain my position that if you weren't supposed to be able to vote in your own poll, Instagram shouldn't allow it.
That's fair. But then what happens when 2 people share an Instagram account? And
you snooze, you lose. I voted for me first. You should have been on top of it. You wake up 6 hours before me. You are 6 hours ahead of me in the world.
I was trying to play a fair game to do fair research and into who is more often correct.
All is fair in love and war. And this was a war, baby.
Well, yes. So it turns out you did win because you voted for yourself. Twice.
Yeah. Twice.
Twice. I want the listeners to know that it was twice. But if it wouldn't have been that, it would have been a tie. But we did get to see, some of our friends did not know that we could see who they voted for.
Oh, yeah.
Which blows
that
my
was
mind.
Fun. Taking screenshots and sending it to the people who voted for you and not me.
Yeah. Not knowing that they'd have to deal with the consequences of your wrath.
It's coming.
Speaking of wrath, well, I think I was just going to say the listeners already know about your wrath because of the voice message that I put in of you yelling at me, which I'll never get over. It's still the funniest thing you've ever sent me.
I mean, it was deserved.
Apparently a lot of things are deserved today. 2 votes for you yelling at me. Do you have anything to update me on?
What is the most exciting thing that's happening right now in my life?
Oh boy.
I got a contraband delivery from Canada. I shouldn't say this on the pod. The feds are going to come for me.
Yes, the only listeners of this podcast are the feds.
The feds and our moms and dads.
What did you get? Yes, our mothers and fathers. Well, maybe just our mothers. What did you get from Canada?
I got Kinder Surprise.
Oh, yes. You guys really like that stuff. What is the appeal to a Kinder Surprise?
Okay.
Genuine question. No rudeness.
Genuine question. That chocolate shell is good. The milk chocolate on the outside, the white chocolate on the inside. But then there's a prize in there too.
But is the prize really worth it?
I think it's more so the contraband thing.
Okay. I was curious because like people love it. And I'm not a huge chocolate person, as you know. So chocolate in that form, not my cup of tea. So therefore it's already kind of a no-go for me. But I was like, maybe the toy is what people really want.
I mean, I guess if you're a kid, yeah, the toy is what you really want. And I mean, I guess I'm probably a kid at heart, but
I'm sure these are for kids. This is like a child's product.
I think it is just the novelty of it. Like, you can't get them here, and the U.S. tried to kind of like, I don't know, make up for it with these things called Kinder Joy. So it's still shaped like an egg, but it comes in plastic instead of the usual foil wrapper, and it splits in half. And so one side is the toy in its own like plastic, no edible involved container, and you just peel the top off. So it's like half of an egg shape, and you just peel the top off, and the toy's inside. And then on the other side, you peel the top off, but inside it's like it has these tiny little
This gesture
balls.
You're making is very strange.
Oh god. It is okay. I talk with my hands, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So there's 2 tiny little balls inside, and they're kind of like Ferrero Rocher, you know those.
Oh, very good.
Which are amazing and incredible, right?
Are they like little Kinder Bueno bars, but like in balls?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little ball form, but then it's surrounded by this sort of it's like Nutella texture, but it's like a white cream, but it's like Nutella texture, and it comes with a little mini spoon that you can eat it with, and it's like,
ew.
It's just not. I don't even know. I was gonna say it's a thought that counts. Like, they're trying to give us something, and like I said, the little boys look great.
Do you have to go through that white stuff first?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's just not the same.
Nasty. That sounds nasty. Sorry, that's really triggering for me.
Yeah. So, Kinder Bueno. I love Kinder Bueno.
Oh my god,
Even you.
I ate 4 of them on Thursday morning, and then 4 of them Wednesday at noon because I bought them at work.
I mean, it's appropriate.
I feel it's
always time for a Kinder Bueno. So they rolled those out in the U.S. last summer, I think.
Oh, they did.
Last spring, last summer.
Oh, well. Enjoy. Yeah,
America. They didn't sell them here. Like, you could find them at a couple of like international markets or like World Market or something like that.
Contraband.
Yes. Contraband. But they actually like rolled them out across the U.S. market last year, I think. I think it was last year.
Oh my god, I should label this as an educational podcast. I'm learning so many things. I had no idea.
Learning so much about international trade.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they haven't taken hold yet. Like, I remember, I don't know. if I saw like an email or like an advertisement or something or a commercial, I don't know. But somehow I realized that they were being released in the U.S. And I was like, oh my gosh,
probably
this is
a
great.
newsletter you subscribe
Kinder
to.
Bueno newsletter. I get Ferrero Rocher newsletters.
See what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised, but they didn't take off. They would be like on end caps, heavily discounted, like buy one get one free, 50% off. Like people weren't going for the Kinder Buenos, and I didn't understand. I'd walk past these displays after they had been out for several months, and like obviously no one was buying them. They were all like super discounted.
That's very unfortunate.
And I'm like, you guys need to catch on because I don't want these to go away.
Then you need to buy shit tons of them.
I could not support the entire U.S. market of Kinder Bueno.
You'd be surprised what you could put your mind to. And your money.
Honestly, I probably could do it.
Yeah? Maybe you should start selling them. Be a reseller. Or I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works either.
Side gig. Side gig. How's Italian been going? You told me last night you were going to do some exercises. And then you told me that you were larghissima.
Larghissima. I worked on it for like 2 hours yesterday.
Oh, look at you.
It's going really well.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say, I have practiced and forgotten the word for garbage disposal about 2 billion times in the last week.
Garbage disposal.
For some reason, that was one of my vocab words in my lesson this week. And it's a really weird word. We were talking about like comparing differences between like lifestyles in the US and Italy.
Having a garbage disposal and not having a garbage disposal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also having a clothes dryer and not having a clothes dryer.
Oh, yeah.
Which asciugatrice is clothes dryer. I can remember that one just fine, but garbage disposal, I was literally standing in my kitchen yesterday, like speaking sentences at my sink. I mean, I was washing dishes, so I was in there anyway. But
talking to yourself.
and then,
I love this.
Yeah, talking to myself. What else am I gonna do? How else am I gonna learn Italian?
This is true. Well, I have a proposition for you because you did text me "sono larghissima" and I was like, "Hello." But then I decided that I would just reply to you in Italian, and I told you something like some stupid reply. And I thought to myself, I was like, wouldn't it be fun for you and I to only speak to each other in Italian for like a week, let's say. And then
week.
Obviously
wow.
like maybe not this week. Or maybe this week.
Maybe not this week.
Or maybe this week, who knows? And then when we record again, we can speak in English. What do you think?
I mean, that's
what do you think?
It's a bold proposition, but honestly, I need it because I need to practice speaking. Like I was telling you, I have no problem reading it. Those messages you sent me, I completely understood them the first time I read them. Oh. But it's the being able to like put the sentences together myself and then speak them that I have a hard time with.
Well, little proposition. We start maybe not this week, maybe this week. And we only speak to each other, and voice message must only be in Italian. Written and spoken.
Okay, let's do it, but I'm warning you.
If you send me a
prepared.
20-minute voice message about your dreams in Italian, I will lose my mind.
No, it'll more so be a 20-minute voice message because I'll be like,
Yeah, I don't know how many voice messages you'll get from me this week, but I think we could do it.
We can do it.
But what happens in the group chat?
Group chat, we stick to English because...
But you and I can't talk to each other. We can only talk to the other members of the group
others
chat.
in the group chat.
Yeah. What do you think? Shall we make a pact?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's say after this podcast episode, you and I are only going to speak in Italian for a whole week.
Okay.
Both
Done.
Written and orally. And then next week...
Done. Deal.
Oh my god, wait, no, next week we're not recording.
We're not recording next week. We can't do 2 weeks
we'll figure
of
this
Italian.
out. We'll figure this out. No, we cannot do 2 weeks of Italian. I'll lose my mind. We'll figure this out, and we'll explain why we won't be recording next week after this break. Okay, we're back. That's my transition. We're back in. Today's episode is brought to you by the two of us financing this podcast with no ads. Today's message.
We would love sponsors.
Oh my God, sponsor us.
Do you want to sponsor us? We're really good at unboxings.
The people would not know, but I should honestly post one of your unboxings to the Instagram. One of your 8-minute unboxing videos.
Do it. Post it on a reel.
No, make IGTV.
Oh, yeah. IGTV.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Sorry. Please. Today's message is from my friend Audrey.
Okay, this is a message from Audrey on March 6th, 2021. I want you guys to talk about travel shaming during COVID because I feel like people are still traveling and it makes other people really jealous and really angry. And I think it's interesting because I myself want to travel and I don't want anyone to judge me about it if I'm taking the necessary requirements. But I feel like I do get jealous when I see other people going places right now. So there you go. Have a go at it.
All right. Straight and to the point. She's very clearly a busy woman. Sounds like she's running down the street.
On the go. Pounding the pavement in Madrid.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Audrey, for putting a timestamp on your message. We'll never forget when you sent your message. Yeah. So, you told me earlier that you have much to say. Well, you have much to say about this in general, but we were alluding to the fact that we're not recording next weekend. It's because we're doubling up on things. And why is that?
That is because I am going to travel for the first time in over a year.
It's honestly great timing.
Perfect timing.
Great timing.
Brilliant timing, Audrey. Yeah. But, I mean, she's so right. I have such a range of emotions, and I've had a range of emotions for the last year now, seeing other people traveling. Because as of next week, it'll be 1 year since this whole thing, for me at least, got started. As of next week, it'll be the 1 year mark from when I started working from home. So
yeah, I think by the time this goes live, it'll have been a year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have found myself judging people for traveling, thinking how are you getting on a plane right now? And then you're just going back home and you're going right back to work and you're not quarantining. But then it's you have to take a step back and say, I've been seeing people traveling this whole time, people traveling for work and they're fine, people traveling just for fun. And obviously they're fine, which makes it really tough because that's where that jealousy thing comes in. For the most part, we're not traveling because we don't know what's going to happen, right? At least for me, I almost got on a plane towards the end of last year in the fall to go visit family. And I just talked myself out of it because cases started rising again. And then the CDC put out stricter travel warnings. And it's scary, I mean, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm fit. But at the same time, you don't know if you'll be one of the people that ends up getting a really long lasting, lingering case of COVID that can have long-term side effects.
Right.
So that's what I mean by it's such a range of emotion. At first I'm looking at other people saying, why you're traveling? That's not smart right now. But then at the same time, I want to travel.
Yeah.
So that was a lot.
No, I totally get it. When she had sent the message in and I was listening to it earlier, I was kind of thinking, I was like, I don't really know if I know that many people, if I've seen that many people traveling. I mean, outside of major news outlets being people are in Mexico, people are in Florida, blah, 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 things like that. But I guess maybe during the holidays, people were traveling a lot more. But I feel like I haven't seen it as much. But that also could just be because I'm not paying attention.
I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people that, I don't necessarily consider them close friends anymore.
Ooh.
I mean, we were good friends at one time, or,
Did you burn those
we're
bridges?
friends and, like, stay, like, tangentially in contact.
Let's name names. Who are they?
I'm not naming names. They're, like, perfectly nice people that's, like, I was friends with when I lived in Michigan, or, like, we were friends in university, or, grad school, or things like that, or, like, people from back home that, I never see anymore. If I saw them in public, we'd have a conversation and it'd be totally fine, but...
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I've been seeing tons of people traveling, and like for some reason everyone's going to Mexico. I don't know if it's just because there's so few places people from the US can go right now, and like Mexico is one of the very few places that are accepting US tourists.
Well, it was probably about a month ago. I was on a sort of like video call with my former Spanish professor, and also like master's advisor. No, sorry, not master's, undergrad advisor, and another friend of mine. And we were talking about the whole people being in Mexico thing. And she was like, well, a lot of that, she was saying just how much tourism is the only thing that keeps a lot of those, a substantial amount of places open. And how a lot of the businesses had actually like come together to set their own regulations so that it would be like safe for these people to come and like spend their money essentially. Which was interesting because the government wasn't doing enough. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then I meant to look into it, and then life got away from me. So full circle.
Because it's such a huge part of some countries' economy.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
but I feel like if you're following the guidelines, I mean, it's also so different now than it was before, because now there's 3 vaccines?
Yeah.
Right? 4, technically?
Well, 3 approved in the US now, and then there's the Oxford AstraZeneca, which is approved in the UK, right?
In the EU.
And then China has 2 different vaccines that are obviously approved there, Brazil, and I think a couple.
Russia has one too, but I don't know if it's approved.
Russia has one.
Yeah.
That one might also be approved in Brazil as well. But yeah. There are a handful of vaccines.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like I want to say it's getting better. Who even qualify better?
I mean, it's getting better, but at the same time, like, we still need to be safe and be careful. And I guess that's the thing is, like, if you're doing it right, then you shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to get out and do something. Like, if you're being careful about it and you're taking the proper precautions, then go for it.
I also think it depends on how you're traveling,
Oh yeah, that's huge too.
Yeah. And obviously how safe you are while you travel. I mean, it's just, follow the precautions, and then should be fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, I will say, if I wasn't fully vaccinated, I don't think I would be getting on a plane this week.
The privilege.
Privilege, honestly. I'm like incredibly lucky. And for a while, I did feel kind of guilty about it. I was like, there are people that deserve this more than me.
But a lot of people have said that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Should I have this opportunity right now. Like, how long am I going to have to wait if I pass it up?
Yeah. And they've said before, like, ethicists, that's a word, we're like, when it's your turn, get it. That's the ethical thing to do, because in the long run, it's all about herd immunity and yada 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 and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I know Audrey sent this message in because she's considering traveling somewhere for the Easter holidays, which is coming up pretty soon for us.
Very soon.
The EU.
I can't believe it's almost here.
I know. It's so crazy because I always forget that, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's like, I was talking to another friend group and I was saying how it was like, oh, it's almost Easter, like, yay. And they were like, that means nothing to us. And I was like, oh, right, you all live in the United States. Like, Easter is not a holiday, really.
We don't get 2 weeks of vacation, which is so sad.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sad. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I have Father's Day off this year. Don't know why.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's really weird. But not going to complain. I'll take that day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I guess my advice to Audrey would be like, there's always someone who's going to judge you no matter what you do. Whether what you're doing is
always going to be haters who think you're going to be trash.
Exactly. There are always haters out there. There's always someone who has something to say about your life and your choices. So like,
that person is me, Audrey.
Right.
I'm the hater in your life.
He's the hater. You're going to hate on her because you aren't going anywhere. Or
are you
going somewhere?
No, I'm not. But I also like just don't want to.
Yeah.
I like very much want to do a staycation in my own bedroom, which is crazy
nice.
Because it's all we've been doing. But like,
sometimes you need that though.
Yeah. I'm like, whatever. Who gives a shit? Do what I want to do. But
exactly.
Someone else I was
what you want.
was thinking about going into like a little tiny house in the mountains. So there are things to do.
That would be really nice.
Yeah. She asked if I wanted to go, and I said no.
Oh. Never mind.
But it looks great. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah. You don't want to be off the grid.
No, the only thing I have anymore is being on the grid. It's the only thing that's keeping me going.
That's true.
Being on the grid and being in the classroom. What a lie.
Dark days.
Yeah, dark days. It has this. Yeah. So yeah, like you were saying, it's going to be a year of lockdown.
A year.
Well, a year of
and people
pandemic, but like a year of the lockdown anniversary.
Yeah, like on and off lockdowns, on and off like isolation and quarantines. Yeah. Things like that. I mean, people are getting stir crazy, understandably so.
Yeah.
You know, we've been confined for so long.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so strange to because obviously to think back, but it's almost like, and this is like a tale of, people have talked about this already, so it's like just beating a dead horse, I guess, at this point, but it feels like we haven't done it yet. Like as we get closer to it, it's almost like, ooh, it's been so long since I've like had springtime, because I like missed a year of spring because I was in the four corners of my room.
Like all the things you usually do when spring rolls around and when the weather starts changing and then summer. Yeah, we kind of missed out on all that last year.
Yeah, and I literally couldn't go outside. So all I saw was what was out of my window.
You had it bad. You guys were allowed like one walk around the block per day, right? Or something ridiculous like that.
It was, you were allowed to go to a grocery store or like a pharmacy. Oh. But like you were only supposed to go like once a week, if that.
Yeah.
And so I had to carry a lot of groceries, to be honest. I was very happy it was not a far walk, because it was two massive bags of groceries, because all I had to do was cook and eat.
Yeah, that's true.
Do my job.
Isn't it wild to think about what our lives were like when this first started?
Things were out of control. Like my social calendar was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You don't relate to that? Sorry, unrelatable content. I'm very popular.
Very unrelatable content because I am not very popular.
No.
Someone posted a picture of the Dalgona coffee today.
The what? Oh.
You know, like the whipped coffee trend that took off last year in like April.
That was April.
And honestly, it must have been like April last year, or maybe it was May. It was early.
Are you sure it wasn't like August?
I don't think it was August. I swear this was like early
summertime.
Days. It wasn't August. Here's how I know.
Oh boy.
I did it when I was in my old apartment, and I moved into my current apartment in July.
You're right.
And I was out of the state for like 2 full months before I moved. So it had to be like April or May at the latest.
Yeah, I want to say it was probably late. It was towards the end of my legitimate lockdown. It was when we were allowed to go outside to exercise during certain times.
Ooh.
Those were fun
days. Good times.
I'll never forget that first day I went out running and then fucked my back up, and then I had to stay in my house anyway because I couldn't move. So fucking bleak.
What a time to be alive.
Oh yeah. My God.
So I still have a giant container of instant coffee that I'm never going to use because I'm a coffee snob. And I wouldn't.
Yeah, there's like instant coffee packets in our kitchen. I'm just like, can we get rid of these? Like, no one's gonna do this.
I think I'm gonna use it for baking. It's good to use in baking, so.
Oh, good to know.
I'm gonna go that route.
Yeah, so thanks to Audrey for sending a message in about such a pertinent topic. I was
just gonna say, it's so pertinent. Like, that was perfect timing.
Yeah, she definitely had no idea, and I didn't tell her, contrary to probably popular belief. But I did not tell her. But Audrey, send us your address, or I should have it. I guess I could send it to Allison, but just to be safe, send it to Allison, and you'll get your postcards. And if you would like to receive a postcard, that means you got to send us a message, bitch. And that would be at 202-630-4509 if you're in the U.S. and maybe Canada. I'm not sure about that. But if you want to send a voice message and you're in the EU and or outside of the U.S. in general, you could send us a voice message through our email, which is a message from postcards@gmail.com. Or you could also just write to us and make us read on the air, which we love to do for you.
We would do anything for you.
Almost anything. Almost anything.
Almost anything.
Almost anything.
You could send a voice message on Instagram too, right?
I don't know how I would download that.
That was...
Don't do that. Please don't do that to me.
That's an interesting noise I just made.
Do not make me do that. Don't make me do that.
Okay, don't send a voice message on Instagram. Just send text messages on Instagram. And also rate and review us.
Oh, rate and review. As always, rate and review. And tell your family and friends. Share the pod.
Tell everyone.
If you tell one person about this podcast today, then...
That's your homework, amongst all the 15 other things we told you to do.
Yeah.
You are also required to tell one person about this podcast today.
Yeah, send it in your Slack chat or whatever. I don't know the terms. Slack is a thing, right?
Do people even use Slack?
I thought people use Slack. I don't know. I'm in education.
I use Teams.
I'm a Google Meet person. But that's only when a class is confined.
Well, whatever form of communication you use with your coworkers and friends.
Yeah, whatever works.
Spread the news.
Do what you gotta do. All right, until next week, Miss Allison.
Ciao, ciao.
Oh, arrivederci. Alla prossima.
Buona giornata.